This is NFTCulture. I'm Pio. I am here with a very talented and young artist, Mr. Julien here. How's it going, Julien?
Hey Pio, I'm doing fine. Thank you for inviting me into the NFT culture. Looking forward to talk about like all kinds of stuff, and it's amazing what you guys are doing, bringing some light and shine to different artists around the world.
My pleasure. Happy to have you here, and thank you for joining us. I'm actually really excited to talk to you because I think that number one, obviously, I like your artwork and I want to learn more about that. And I also want to know about your creative beginnings. So we'll talk about those. But I think that your community involvement is very unique compared to some of the other artists and contributors that we've talked to on this channel. So I definitely am excited to kind of dive deep into that. But before we get into all that, the first thing that I always like to ask people is, what are your creative beginnings? And you can go as far back as you want. You can go back to when you were a little kid. I just want to know like how you started being creative and maybe like the roadmap that kind of got you from there to where you are now.
Yeah, sure. Happy to explain that. Thank you. So basically, I started in 2014, and I started creating YouTube videos like everyone else. Like I was a kid, I was creating YouTube videos, like gaming videos. I learned editing them, and from there, I really liked the editing software. So I saw these 10-second motion intros on YouTube that these other YouTubers had, right? So I was looking like, how can I create that myself? So I did some research, and as always, I like to join communities to learn from like experts and specialists that are really known with this kind of technology. So I joined some Dutch groups because I'm from the Netherlands, and I learned that they were using like Cinema 4D and After Effects. So I picked up those tools, started learning them, and then I started creating these 10-second 3D text animations. Those are called like intros, and we were basically like kids creating them for other YouTubers for fun, maybe like for a couple of dollars or euros or whatever. And it was just like fun learning, right? So it was just like playing around. And I really like doing that for like, I don't know, like 3 or 4 years. Um, and then I saw this subreddit about augmented reality. Um, and that sparked some interest because whole new learning curve, right? I knew something about Cinema 4D, about 3D stuff. I knew something about like RFX. And I went around learning Photoshop and all kinds of other like software. But from there, yeah, it was just basically augmented reality. So I was learning Lens Studio and Spark AR, and then I did that for around 2 years. So that was around 2018 when I started learning that. Um, and I was just 18 years old at that time, and then I got an email from Snapchat from Los Angeles, right? They sent me an email and they wanted to do an interview about like my creations I was doing on Snapchat using augmented reality. And um, so they really liked what I was doing. They set up an interview, had some questions just like this, right? And it was amazing. And the next day, they just told me that, oh, you need to sign up for our exclusive program. Like we're creating this whole group of creators, of augmented reality creators, and you need to sign up, right? So I was just like, what is going on, right? So I signed up, and I just I got accepted to that exclusive group of official lens creators. That's what it's called. And basically, a couple months later, they invited me to visit their office in Los Angeles. So I just turned 18 at that time, and just like 1 month later, I was going on a free trip to LA from the Netherlands by myself. I was like, what the heck is going on, right? So I visited their office there. I met a lot of cool people, some developers, creative guys, creative humans, and it was very amazing, very cool to meet some people there. And we had a hackathon. So I think we had like almost like 100 people there from all around the world. And yeah, we had a hackathon there with my team members, and we won that hackathon. So we got first place, won an iPhone, won these Snapchat spectacle glasses. um, and that was just amazing. And then 1 year later, we had another like event. I went again to LA to their office. We did another hackathon, a lot of cool updates about the program and the software. And I won that hackathon also with my team members. So there was, it's just incredible to win like two hackathons at the same time, really within a year. It's just insane. And then, of course, COVID, so we couldn't like travel, right? So currently, I didn't go to LA in 2020, which is unfortunate. But maybe this year, when everything is opening up again, maybe we can move again to LA and meet some new people there. It's just incredible.
That
So yeah,
sounds incredible, man.
yeah, yeah. It's like a whole story, right? So we start like very young, age 14, creating YouTube videos, and then right now, like when you just turn 18, like within 4 years, you're learning so much technology and stuff, and you meet so many cool people, and it's just it's just insane.
Yeah, it sounds like you really developed from like 14 to 18 and in a digitally native kind of way, right? Like it sounds like you started out digital with video editing, and you really ran with almost like VFX. Would that be fair? Like, rather than just like editing traditional video that gets shot on camera, like actually just creating stuff from scratch with these different software tools that you use?
Yeah, sorry, I think you were a bit lagging. Maybe can you
Yeah, no problem. I was saying that you started off digitally native, right? So like with your video editing, rather than like
Mhm.
shooting something with a camera and then editing it, it was more so like creating with these different video editing softwares from scratch. And that's in line with the augmented reality stuff that you got to. And I know you have a huge Snapchat following.
Oh
Would you
yeah.
say that's is Snapchat the platform that kind of like transformed everything for you?
Yes, yes, for sure. Snapchat is a great platform. They have a lot of cool creators there. So what you're saying, like, yeah, I started with these technologies and I learned them, and I saw that I could implement everything I learned within these years into augmented reality, and really saw that my visuals and my effects came to life, right? And other people can use it really easily. So the program started around 2018. So I was really early. Um, and then basically, like, nobody was just creating AR at that time. It was all new. And I built a following of like almost 1 million at the moment. Like, I think I have 889,000 followers on Snapchat or something. And my AR creations are hitting 5 billion views. Just out of your mind, right? So
Unreal, yeah.
it's just unreal, insane. And then you're just that young, right? So you have no idea what's going on. You don't have any like management, like all the bigger people have. So still trying to figure out what I need to do with this big following. How do I monetize it, right? Like how do I work with that? I'm just a creator, right? So like it's kind of hard to like be a face there. Yeah.
Well, it's incredible. It's incredibly impressive, and congratulations on your success so young. And I'm sure that given your community involvement and your ability to learn things, from scratch in what seems to be a very quick time frame, I'm sure you'll figure out how to properly monetize this stuff and keep this train going for your entire career. So yeah, so I want to talk about your community involvement, like I kind of talked about. I know you're a moderator on these different Discord servers. Can you talk about like, what NFT community has kind of meant for you and how you're contributing, on a regular basis and just what that whole thing looks like for you?
Yeah, of course. So I found the Discord, like I start. Yeah, wait, let me get back. We're going back to 2020 May, and I saw Foundation platform. I saw someone on Instagram promoting it on their story, and I was really interested into this platform. I didn't know anything about NFTs at that time. So I checked out the platform and I saw that art was like being sold for like 500 or $1,000, and I was like, what is going on, right? and that was Foundation at that time. They were not running on Ethereum; they were running on a different chain, the XDAI chain. So I joined their Discord. It was really small. It was a really small team. The Discord was messy. And I have a lot of experience with Skype, Discord, because like I started young, right? I started with Skype, always joining communities, always helping out people where I can. And so I created an account in 2016 or something on Discord. So from that time, I'm every day on Discord. So I know a lot about Discord, right? So I saw that the Discord was a mess. It was a big mess, and they were going to launch. So I offered my help to set up their Discord, create some cool channels, some permissions, and that's basically how I started, right? So I think that's how I started with the Foundation Discord, and then I moved to like Superware. I saw that their Discord was messy, so I cleaned that up. Reached out to the staff members there. Currently also on Rarible, I fixed their Discord. I'm looking forward to change it now on Maker's Place because that Discord also needs some upgrade. We could talk about that later, but yeah, like I'm really involved into the community. Always joining communities. I think that's very important to like connect with other artists and other creative people in the space to learn, but also share your own knowledge, right? So I didn't know anything about NFTs at that time in May 2020. I started as a collector myself on Nifty Gateway with my little brother. I think we were one of the youngest collectives out there. We have like 12 pieces right now in our collection, and we sold a few. Some big names. I think we have Puck, we have Fuck Render, right? So we have like Malavida, Blake Catherine. We have a lot of cool pieces from these dope artists currently in our collection. So that's how I started. I started as a collector, and then I was at Foundation. That's where I also started creating NFTs when that launched. So yeah, I think like all these kind of platforms, it's really interesting to see how they move and what their plans are. I think it's really interesting because like all these platforms, they have the same goal to offer artists a platform to mint NFTs, right? But some have different mechanics, a different community, a different like brand, a different feel. So not every platform fits with every artist. I think that's also good to keep in mind.
Yeah, it's a really good observation. And I think long term in the NFT space, it's going to be a really cool thing to see which platforms emerge, for what use cases, or, which platforms emerge as like the top 1, 2, or 3, and then which kind of fall by the wayside. So all that stuff's obviously shaking out right before our eyes here. I think it's so interesting how uniquely built for the NFT space you are, right? Like you started digitally native with your artwork. You did augmented reality artwork, like, all of these like technology based creative, kind of passions that you have are really in line with NFTs. And then on top of that, being involved with Discord for as long as you have been, the community factor. When you kind of started getting involved with NFTs specifically, was there like a eureka moment for you where you're like, wow, this is exactly the space that I should be in. This is absolutely what I should be doing?
Yes, sure. Yeah, of course, for sure. I saw that NFTs were blowing up, right? I was really early. Like NFTs were old already, like a couple of years, like 2017, but it like started really early, like in this year, January, it like blew up, right? So, yeah, what you're saying, like I'm digitally native, always working digitally, never really like went to draw or paint or anything like that. So I think everything connects right now, right? So every technology and software package or whatever you're using and learned over the years is really coming together right now, which you can basically like use and integrate into your art. So I really like I created my own art style, which is really unique in my opinion. It's really colorful. It's abstract, and I always try to show the viewer or the collector something visually, something something that they can think about, right? So I always add a little story to my pieces. Vision is one of my favorites because like everyone needs a vision in their life. Yeah, this is also a piece I really enjoy. I created this music too, and yeah, that's vision. Wow, I just love it so much. It's insane. I like my grandpa uses this as a background wallpaper also, which is pretty funny. So it's really
So
like,
he appreciates it.
yeah, like they really like it and the work I'm doing, and they are so supportive into what I'm doing. Yeah, I always try to add as many color as I can. I try to, like, it's really abstract, right? So it looks like space. I'm really interested into space, into all of these yeah, like these stars, nebulas, and because like I have really, like I have a lot of experience with After Effects. Most of the work that you're seeing is done in After Effects, um, and it's just like it's really unique.
Yeah, no, I mean, I totally agree with you. I think it's awesome work, man. And I love the color palettes that you use. I'd love to see more. Like, I think all of these color palettes are like in line with space, like you're talking about, like the colors that you see in space. I would love to see in the future, some like really kind of wacky color palettes that are like, neon bright, like pinks and blues and purples. Like, I love that stuff too. But all this stuff's
Oh
really cool
yeah.
to me. And the fact that it's all digitally native is awesome. I want to go back to one thing that you talked about, which is that you and your brother, collect NFTs, and I have your Nifty Gateway profile pulled up right here. I'm going to load it up on screen, and I see that you have some pretty awesome stuff, including Pack, including Fuck Render, Blake Catherine, and some others. I see the Jose Delbo right here. Can you talk about collector or artists also being collectors, and this almost like it's a kind of a novel dynamic within the NFT space that I would say I'm sure it existed in the traditional art world. Like, I'm sure Pablo Picasso and Jackson Pollock had paintings from other artists. I'm sure they were gifted paintings from other artists, but it wasn't as in the public eye, right? They didn't have like a social media profile that showed all
Yeah.
of the work that they had. So can you talk a little bit about this novel dynamic of artists also being collectors, artists buying other artists, art selling other artists' art for a profit? I mean, I'd love to hear from your perspective as an artist, how you think that this is going and how it might play out.
Yeah, sure. Like, I started collecting with my little brother, and that was a very cool journey. Of course, we joined the Nifty Gateway Discord and connected with people there, and we saw that, like, as an artist, I was already following people on like these artists that I collected. I was already following them on Instagram, and I really liked their work already. And then I heard they were dropping NFTs on Nifty Gateway, right? So I created an account. My little brother was very interested. He's also doing a lot with sneakers and that kind of reselling stuff on StockX and all that kind of things. So yeah, I really like their work. That's it. Like the first step is just you need to like the work, right? Otherwise, you don't collect it. Like, why would you collect it if you don't like it? Some people are in it for a profit. I don't think that's really what you need to be in for the profit, because like if the piece doesn't go up, you're stuck with a piece you don't like. So at the first place, you just need to like the piece before you collect it. And if it goes up, that's fine, I guess. So we were just intrigued into this whole NFT space and really interested. And now you can own something digitally. It was really just a whole different like shift, with like within your mind, and that was really interesting. So we started collecting a few pieces. I think our first piece was a Beeple, and that's also a fun story that I can talk about. We saw Beeple dropping, and that's when we really went in. We won one of these 100 pieces, and
Oh, wow.
we sold it within, yeah, so like one of the everydays, right? The 100 everydays, and So we were very lucky. And then it didn't, like, Nifty Gateway didn't have any drawing system or raffle system or lottery system or whatever you want to call it. It was just like first come first serve, right? So with the experience we have with the sneakers and the sneaker world, we can click very fast and we know where to click and all that kind of stuff. So we were clicking very fast at that time. We got one of those Beeples, and it was $1, and we sold it for, here it comes, for like $1,900, which is, we were, at that time it was a lot of money, and then it went up like to I don't know, like,
It's like $100,000.
yeah, to like $100,000, and it was just like, oh my god, what did we do? Why did we sold it, right? So we all have those mistakes. I know some other guys and people that made that mistake of selling too fast or too early, right? So yeah, that's a bummer, but I think currently we have some cool pieces. I think Puck is my favorite right now. We also have Fuck Render. I think it's also a cool story. The Fuck Render piece is a limited one. Only 10 exist, and we got one by just searching the piece in his Fuck Render first, right? So we had to search one of his artworks in that world. And my little brother, he's so lucky. He found it very fast, and he did DM Fuck Render, and we got one of those pieces in our collection. Yeah, so like currently I just like Malavida is one of my favorite artists too. And I think Puck is also very, very cool with his mind tricks and how his mind works, and the concept behind all of his work is very, very interesting to me.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, Pack, his drop structure, it's really genius. I think he was kind of the first Nifty Gateway artist, like the first fine artist to put forward this incredibly complex and advanced drop structure. I think now that we're seeing collectibles become more in the forefront of what's popular in the NFT space, right now, that's kind of the current trend. And you look at people like Gary Vaynerchuk with their integrated utility into the NFTs. I wouldn't be surprised if we see some of that spill over to the artist space, but I definitely think that Pack had the most advanced drop structure, drop mechanic, drop mechanism, whatever you want to call it, for a fine art piece. But yeah, I mean, that's fascinating for me to hear about, you being a collector as well, buying art and selling it for 1900x probably thing that you get, and then it goes up 50 plus x from there, and feeling like, what do we do?
Yes.
But yeah, it happens in this space, man. It's so brutal, and I think a lot of people have been there. What I want to talk about now too is back to your community involvement. I know that there was like an issue going around. An artist that we've talked about a little bit already, Fuck Render. He had a situation where he got his MetaMask wallet hacked, and it seems that you and some of your partners have been putting forth some research, some R&D, reverse engineering what happened there, and putting out some content on how to not have it happen again. So I'd love for you to talk about that a little bit.
Yeah, sure. Yesterday I published an article, and we basically reverse engineered the different kinds of software and malware that was going around the community. And I wrote a whole article about it. It took some time to write, but it's a very interesting read. It goes we go really in depth into what social engineering is, how these attackers are really trying to get their victim, how they do their research, and then just messaging people, creating this kind of virus, and trying to basically steal people's money, right? Like it's really targeted towards crypto native NFT artists right now that have a lot of like ETH in their wallet or tokens or something like that. And it's a very big article. We found some cool information. One funny thing is that the malware that was going around has this feature to basically steal anything you have on your computer. Um, it's just insane. Um, so we did some more research into what exactly it steals, and it basically gets all of your data from your Chrome extensions, passwords, cookies, credit cards, IP, for example, country, a lot of more information. They can run executable files on your computer. They can take screenshots. Um, when you're infected, you're basically screwed. So I also added something in the end that explains what you can do when you are infected and how to protect yourself against it. So basically, for example, get a hardware wallet, which is very important. Also, don't trust email domains. People are saying that you need to look at the email domain when someone sends an email, right? And then it should be okay. But it's very easy to spoof that, and really be spoof that email, and then have it like something like, for example, sotheby's.com or something, right? So I also added some information about how to check for email headers. I think that was also missing in some other articles. So yeah, it's so much information to go through. I don't know really where you want to start, but we did some more research, and we found that the malware was being also sold in black forums, right? Like these hacker forums, these black hat forums. And we found that it were the how do you say this? The Russians really like it's really going there. The Russians are really like spreading this malware mainly. They created it. I don't know if they really created it, but it was on a Russian forum, and they were talking Russian. Um, it's really interesting that the malware that was being sold like only costs like $100 a month, which is like, right? It was
Yeah.
just insane. So there's a lot of information to go through. I think it's good to have people read that themselves and to really understand what's happening.
Yeah, people should definitely check out that article, and I'm sure that the community will appreciate you guys, putting forth that research. And someone's got to do it, right? Because at the end of the day, that's a very risky thing for and for artists to be targeted, right? Like you're
Yeah.
obviously very like technology savvy, but not every artist is as technology savvy as you. And a lot of artists that come from traditional, like painting, illustration, and are technology savvy enough to get into NFTs, or they're partnered with people that are technology savvy enough to be able to help them get into NFTs. But there's obviously layers to this, and to be able to recognize malware is a very challenging thing for anybody, let alone someone that isn't as involved with technology. So I think you definitely did a good service for the community there, and I'd encourage everybody to pop onto Julian's Twitter. I have his handle right here under his picture, and we'll put it in the description to check out that article. So yeah, so I want to talk a little bit about your joining Maker's Place now. I know you're already on Foundation. All of your work on Foundation has sold out, so congratulations for that. You just got accepted to Maker's. Yeah, you just got accepted to Maker's Place. Obviously, congratulations for that. Can you talk about what's next for Julian, and how you see the rest of this year going for you in the NFT space?
Oh, yeah, that's very interesting. Thank you for that. Maker's Place. It's a whole different platform. They have a lot of cool features that I need to see, and I think they also accept PayPal or credit cards, something like that. I don't know. It's kind of weird, but I really like what they are doing, and I have a drop plan there. My Genesis on Maker's Place. It will be an animated piece. It will include my own music. Um, and I will build a story around it, like I always do. Like I try to get the viewer interest into the piece. And thinking like they need to think about an idea, a thought, something in their life, how it can reflect them. So that's always what I try to achieve with my artwork, to get the brain thinking about some different stuff. Um, And what's next? I think I will just keep creating like everyone else in the space. I think um, I am very interested into the collectibles, as you said. That's really popping off right now. and artwork is being sold less, and collectibles are being sold more. So maybe in the future I will do something with a collectible, but I'm not that big of a fan of creating collectibles. I really like to create artwork more, but who knows? Like, right, maybe something changes in the future. Also working a lot with Don Diablo and his stuff, so maybe I'm just behind the scenes kind of things. Maybe I will like do something more with that in the future. It's really hard to say. Like the space is going so fast. Like people are saying, like 1 week in NFT space is 1 month in real life, right? Um, so it's going so fast, and it's really hard to point out where to go. Um, like with my life, right? Like Snapchat emailing me, inviting me to LA. That was all not planned. Um, so I never have a plan for like the next 5 years, but I really want to just keep creating. That's for sure. Creating new stuff, creating new technology. Um, Maybe like doing something more with 3D, and maybe integrating some more AR into my work, because like I have that experience, but I haven't really integrated that yet. I know that like because like the AR files are being stored on Snapchat their servers or Instagram their servers, so it's not really decentralized. You cannot upload it to IPFS, for example, because then it just cannot run the file. So I'm really trying to figure out like how that would work with NFTs, and really like how that ownership works, right? Like, do you want to transfer the augmented reality experience to their account, or do I need to host it? Or there's so many questions that I still need to figure out, like how that really works with the NFT space. So I think that will also change in the future. I think I heard like Instagram is working on some NFTs, so maybe they will so maybe they will implement something with that into their AR software. I don't know.
Well, yeah, I mean, I'm sure with your background with AR and technology, you'll figure something out and your work will continue to evolve. I would encourage you better get working quick because you're 20 years old, so your time's running out pretty fast in this career, you know?
Yeah, I just start creating right now, right? We got plenty of time to work, and NFTs are here to stay. That's for sure. And they will just grow more and integrate into more things over time. I'm also like I was studying. I'm getting my uh, school diploma like next week, or like around next week or within 2 weeks,
Congratulations.
something like that. Thank you. And I will be minting that. That's for sure. To have it forever live on the blockchain. I think I will be the first ever from my school to mint their own, uh, yeah, school diploma or whatever you want to call it. I won't sell it, but I'm just to have it in your wallet, and have it there forever. Something that you worked for like 4 years, or like it's just cool to have, right? So it's really interesting, because like when you are just so integrated into the NFT and crypto space, and you just want to mint every important file or document that you have, or art piece or anything digitally that you create, you just want to mint it to have it exist, and not just for selling it, but maybe you just to have it into your own wallet. And of course, it's available for everyone to see in open sea, right? Um, so everyone can see it right there. But yeah, it's just like interesting that if you are so integrated to the space that you just want to mint everything.
Yeah, and I mean, you're kind of touching on what the future of NFT technology will look like. Like, I think a lot of people that aren't deep into like the crypto space or whatever, however you want to call it, don't understand that all NFT means is like basically blockchain, right? It just means like a non-fungible token that's on the blockchain. So in the future, when houses are bought and sold, all of accounting is going to exist on the blockchain. It just makes sense, right? It's just the technology solution for accounting. So you minting your diploma on the blockchain is just one like real world practical example of someone taking advantage of the blockchain technology in a way that everybody will take advantage of in the future. So you're laying the groundwork for future graduates, and I'm sure your school will eventually just give everyone an NFT, give the diploma, and yeah, I'm sure it'll go that way. Since you're so young, since you're 20 years old and you've been a digitally native artist the whole time, did you get involved with like investing in Bitcoin or Ethereum or another crypto asset before NFTs? Like, I'd be curious to know if you were introduced to cryptocurrency before NFTs.
Yeah, my dad had a few Bitcoins, but he sold it for a loss when, like, in 2017, when it was
Oh
really,
no.
yeah, it's just, mistake number, whatever. But I didn't own anything myself, or any Ethereum or any coin or whatever. So NFTs really brought me into the crypto space. As an artist, like, you seeing all of these works getting sold, you seeing so many cool, amazing art being made. So you really try to jump on that, like everyone else was doing at that time. Like in January, it was like blowing up, and in February, it's blowing up. News everywhere, and so I didn't own any Bitcoin, but my dad did, but he sold for a loss. Um, and currently, like, I'm learning about the blockchain, learning about NFTs, uh, still learning about blockchain technology and what it can do. I know a lot about NFTs already, but I think there's always more to learn with new coins being made. Like every day, there's so many coins, right? For different things also. I really like what Ethereum can do. I think Ethereum is so amazing. Currently, like, there is some environmental issue kind of thing, problem. I have no idea about that, but it's going around. Not sure like what kind of like what are the facts, but I also know that a lot of like big Formula One teams are getting into the NFTs. Maybe you've seen that articles popping up, like McLaren has a partnership with Tesos, and Red Bull has a partnership with Tesos. So I think that's also an interesting coin, right? Tesos is really like, I think that's really interesting. Yeah, I have no idea where it will go. Currently, the market is down. That's unfortunate, but um,
Tell your
yeah,
dad to buy back in now.
I will let him know. He does own some Ethereum, so yeah, he bought some Ethereum. That's for sure. Yeah, but maybe
He's
some Bitcoin again.
he's scarred from the big. Like, I'm not buying Bitcoin again. I'll buy
Yeah, just go for Ethereum, right? Yeah, it's incredible to see that, and how he sold it for a loss. Like it went up for like to $60,000, and I don't know like for what amount he sold in 2017, but it was definitely not $60,000.
Yeah, I think it's safe to say it wasn't 60,000. Well, he'll bounce back. I'm sure he has
Yeah,
time to recover, but that's too funny. So, Julien, thank you so much for coming today. Definitely really excited to see what work you release in the future, and just your general contributions to the space, even beyond your artwork. Everybody, please follow Julien on Twitter. Snapchat, he has a massive following, so definitely get involved with that and check out some of the AR stuff that comes out on there. Foundation, all of his work is sold out there, but I think you mentioned, Julien, something might be available on the secondary. Maker's Place, just getting started there, and I'm sure the other platforms will follow. And of course, please subscribe to this channel, NFTCulture. But Julien, thanks so much for your time, man. It was a real pleasure.
Yeah, thank you for inviting me. Definitely subscribe to NFTCulture. I think it's amazing what you guys are doing. So many cool content. I was just watching the live streams and some other content the past couple of days, and it's incredible. Like, so many cool insights, and yeah, thank you for doing this, man. I really appreciate it.
My pleasure, man. Thank you so much. And everyone, make sure you get involved with Julien.
Thank you.